Hi everybody, welcome back to another week of Meals at the Family Seesaw. It is Thursday evening and tonight we're having a quick stir fry spicy pork. So in the pot here I've got a pork fillet that I just halved long ways down the middle and then cut it into kind of thin strips. A bunch of spring onions which I just took the tops off of and the root end and then cut them into, so as you can see, some nice big chunks about an inch long, I guess. And then that's been marinating all day in a combination of a tablespoon of sriracha, a tablespoon of soy sauce, and a little bit of black pepper. So a really simple marinade, just easy to put together this morning before work, and it's been marinated in the fridge all day. I'm going to stir fry that. It won't take very long at all. It's just little pieces of the fillet pork, so it's not going to take more than about probably 10 minutes to cook it through. And then when that's cooked through, I will add in this sauce. Now this is just a variation on the marinade, but with a bit more flavour in it. So this is 3 tablespoons of sriracha, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, a tablespoon of barbecue sauce to give it a little bit of sweetness, and a tablespoon of sugar. And then some minced garlic, about half a teaspoon of sesame oil, just a couple little drops of sesame oil, and again a few sprinkles of ground ginger to give it those kind of Asian-y flavours. So it's kind of sweet and spicy. It will be quite a spicy dish because the sriracha base is in the marinade and in the sauce, but we like that, so that's not a problem for us. But you might want to balance the amount of sriracha. You could put a bit more barbecue sauce in, or use some ketchup instead of all the sriracha, or something like that in the sauce if you wanted to. We're just going to have this with white rice. Once it's all plated up, I'll come back and show you the finished product. Hi everybody, it's Friday evening and tonight we've got a bit of a variation on the menu plan. So we were originally planning to have takeaway tonight. We haven't really had a takeaway since the day after we got back from Disneyland, so all of January we didn't have anything, and so we were going to have takeaway tonight. However, on Wednesday evening I came home from work, felt really unwell, and kind of went straight to bed. So Tony and Caleb took care of themselves for dinner, but I had already got the meat out of the freezer for obviously Wednesday, but also Thursday night's dinner. So it put everything back a day. So last night we had the pork that we were supposed to have on Wednesday, and then last night's planned dinner was sweet chili chicken. Made that tonight, but Caleb has started to experiment a bit with spices and seasonings, but I think the sweet chili is probably a bit too much for him, so I knew he wouldn't want to eat that. He was still keen to have the takeaway, so we've kind of compromised and done a bit of half and half. So I've made the sweet chili chicken. This is just chopped up pieces of chicken breast, coated in, first in egg with some salt and pepper mixed through it, and then a half and half of plain flour and corn flour. The corn flour and the egg combination is what gives the, like if you get Chinese chicken at a restaurant, it's always got that really nice crispy coating on. It's not like heavily deep fried, but it's got that crispy coating, and that comes from the combination of the corn flour with the egg. So that's what I've got it coated in. I then just cooked it in some oil, not a lot of oil. You could deep fry this and have it cooked in just a few minutes. I used shallow oil, and then just flipped it and turned it a few times, and it took probably about eight minutes or so for the chicken. Then put it into a dish, coated it in a bottle of sweet chili sauce. Again, if you've got a favourite brand, whatever you like really, there's all different ones out there, different heats, different strengths. This is just a regular, I think it was Blue Dragon sweet chili sauce. Coated the chicken with that, sprinkled over some spring onions. So we're all going to have it slightly different ways. I'm going to have mine with some salad. Tony's going to put his into wraps. And then we went down to the chip shop, got Caleb his favourite battered sausage from the chip shop, got some chips, so we're all going to have a few chips with ours. So it's a bit of a combination of yesterday's planned dinner and tonight's planned takeaway. And there's the wraps there, and then we've got some salad over on the other counter there, ready to go with it. So that's the beauty of having a menu plan though, because you can always chop it around and create other meals or mix meals up if you don't, for whatever reason, stick to the plan. If I didn't have a menu plan for the week, then Wednesday would have been thrown out. and I would have had no idea what to do for dinner last night, and then tonight we would have probably ended up just getting a takeaway because there wasn't anything else. So if you don't menu plan, I really do encourage you to do it. Even if you just start with planning Monday to Friday with some family favourites, it really does help both with your grocery shopping and also with getting home from work and thinking what's for dinner tonight. So we're going to have this strange combination of a takeaway and sweet chili chicken, and we'll see you back on the seesaw tomorrow. Hi everybody, so it's Sunday evening and we've got a standard roast chicken dinner for dinner tonight. So that's Caleb's plate. He's got roast chicken, some roast potatoes, and some steamed vegetables and gravy. And then I've got the same. Caleb and I have a leg portion each. Caleb just likes his taken off the bone. And then that leaves the breast fillets free for Tony then. So he'll eat those up with potatoes and vegetables as well. And then I did make a pudding this evening. So you can see in there it's an apple pudding. So in the bottom is a layer like you would make for apple pie. So it's just some chopped up apples. I used Granny Smith's with a little bit of sugar and a little bit of water, just cooked for about 10 minutes in the pan to soften them down, put into the bottom of the casserole, and then I made a simple fat-free sponge top. So I whisked up a couple of eggs until they were really fluffy and bubbly, and then I whisked into that just a little bit of sugar, about a quarter cup of sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla, and then folded through half a cup of self-raising flour and a sprinkling of mixed spice. Just folded that all together, poured it over the top of the apples and baked it for about half an hour. It's just a bit different to an apple pie, and we've got some vanilla ice cream to have with that for our pudding. So that's our Sunday dinner, fairly traditional roast chicken dinner and an apple pudding. Hi everybody, so it's Monday evening and we've got a bit of a take on a traditional meal, cottage pie tonight, but this one is made with a spicy filling and sweet potato topping. So I cooked some onions with some mince. I added to that seasoning, so I added smoked paprika, cumin, coriander, I think that was it, a little bit of garlic. And then I added in a can of black-eyed beans, a can of chopped tomatoes, a vegetable stock cube, and a can of corn, sweet corn. Let that, and a chopped green pepper. I let that cook together for about 20 minutes, just until the meat mixture was cooked through. While that was cooking, I took a bag of sweet potatoes, chopped them up into quite big chunks, cooked them for about 15 minutes. Then mashed them up with just a little bit of milk. You don't need very much. Sweet potatoes have more watery content than a normal potato does, so you don't need much liquid to get a really nice smooth mash. I then put it together in a casserole dish and topped it with a little bit of grated cheese, not actually very much, and then just popped it in the oven. You could put it under the grill as well because everything's cooked through, just to melt the cheese on the top. And we've got that with some broccoli. So this is a really good, if you're looking for a way to boost up some vegetables, there is definitely more than 5 a day on this plate. Lots of vegetable boosters this time of the year when there's so many colds and bugs around. We've had a bit of an eventful evening as Caleb, on his way home to his childminders from school this evening, managed to fly over the top of the handlebars of the scooter, has chipped a tooth and got a very big fat lip, some grazed knuckles and a bit of a goose egg over one eye. So we've been to the hospital, just got him, minor injuries unit, just got him checked out for a head injury. They're not too concerned about him, but we've got a dental appointment tomorrow to take a look at this chipped tooth. So he's been so lucky with his teeth. At nearly 10 years old, he's had nothing done to his teeth. He's got very good teeth. So he's quite disappointed that he's got this chip on his tooth, but hopefully it'll be something that the dentist can easily fix. So after all that excitement, it's quite nice to come home and have a nice warming comfort food type of supper. But Caleb has obviously not eaten. He had some scrambled eggs with some cheese mixed in and a little soft bagel, so a glass of milk, and then he did have some apple juice as well. So he's had something to eat and drink, although not a proper dinner, but he just didn't feel like anything else. He's now gone to bed. Hopefully he settles down for the night. So I'll keep you posted on how he's doing, but he's looking a bit sorry for himself this evening, and I'm off to tuck into sweet potato cottage pie and Tony will get some. He's gone to the gym, so he'll get some when he comes back. Hi everybody, it's Tuesday evening, and tonight we've got some kind of South American flavours going through our meal. So I've got a bit of salad there. I've got a chicken breast which was marinated in just a little bit of honey, lime juice and a little bit of grated lime zest. Not for very long, kind of 10-15 minutes, and I put some slashes in the chicken breast so that the flavours would get into the chicken. And then I grilled the chicken for about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm just turning it regularly until it just started to caramelise a little bit on the skin and it's cooked all the way through. And then we've got sweet potato mash, and to carry on the flavour profile there's a little bit of grated lime zest in the sweet potato, and there's also, I took just a little bit of olive oil, like probably not even a tablespoon, and I sliced up some little thin slices of ginger and just crisped them up in the olive oil. And then took the ginger out and used the little bit of olive oil to stir through the sweet potato, so it's got that ginger flavouring in it. And then, as I said, a little bit of side salad to go with that. So we've had quite an eventful day again. So following Caleb's accident yesterday, we spent the afternoon at the dentist. The dentist was able to rebuild his front tooth with using some filling. He was really brave. He was in the dentist chair for just over an hour. Never had anything done at the dentist before, so he was quite nervous, but he managed to get through it all without needing to be numbed or anything. So he's really happy. He's got his tooth back. It looks lovely. It's nice straight tooth again, so he's more than happy this evening. And the dentist just wants to see him again in a month, and they're going to measure him to get a purpose-made gum shield for rugby, rather than rely on the generic ones. Now that he's had a chip to his tooth, they said he is more susceptible to having something else happen to it. So they've suggested we get a properly made and fitted gum shield, which is not a bad thing, although they don't usually recommend them until they're a bit older and their teeth have stopped growing. But yeah, we just have to go back in a month to get that sorted out. But all in all, after an eventful couple of days, I think we're just about back to normal now. I'm looking forward to the rest of the week being not quite so full of activity and rushing around and changing of plans. So I'd like to get back to a little bit of routine for the rest of the week. It's Tuesday night supper. It's South American chicken with sweet potatoes and some salad. Hi everybody, so it's Wednesday evening, and a slight detour from the menu plan tonight, although not completely. I was going to make Cajun turkey steaks with some rice and beans and some like fresh salsa. Didn't really fancy the rice and beans tonight, so I've still done the turkey steaks with Cajun seasoning on them, just cooked them in the pan. And then I've done some little of the diced potatoes in the air fryer with Cajun seasoning on, so continuing that theme. And then I've got some salad with some beetroot and some coleslaw as well. So a slight variation on what we were planning, but still essentially the same meal, just with different side dishes. So that's our Wednesday night supper. Thank you for joining us for another week of our family meals, and we'll see you back on the seesaw soon.